Hey everyone, welcome to Art Chats, a weekly live series here on Instagram where we have discussions about subjects like self-care for creatives, the evolution of an artist's voice, and learning to be vulnerable in sharing your work and gifts. I'm Emily Gillespie, your host. Grab a drink and sit and chat with me. If you have any thoughts about what I'm talking about, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Today, I wanted to talk about allowing yourself to honor your creativity. And you could argue, that there's maybe more important things in the world, in the greater scheme of things. We've all got bigger things maybe to worry about. But with something like this that you're passionate about, whether it's creativity or science or history or quilting or, I don't know, fill in the blank. Those things, those passions are what makes you you. And that is a way that we can all contribute to the world and make things better. And I realize that sounds a little cliche or idealistic or silly, but I really think that it's true. When we are at our best, we can interact with others and we can spread joy and happiness and goodwill. So let's take a look at a couple ways that we can kind of make this happen and ways to honor our creativity in our own lives. So first, this is difficult, or it can be, depending on what you're dealing with. But the first thing to do is to chip away at old hurts, whether these are setbacks, rejections, failures, or mistakes. We all deal with those kinds of things, and rejection and hurt and pain is something that we all want to shy away from. We'd rather not deal with it. It's easier to pretend like it doesn't exist, like it doesn't hurt, like it's not taking away from our joy and happiness that's in our hearts. But ignoring those kinds of things isn't going to make them go away. And ignoring it is not going to help you progress or grow or thrive, either creatively or as a person as a whole. Instead, examining these things that we struggle with, shining the light on them and bringing them out of the dark is how we can begin to heal. You might want to sit down and talk these things out with a friend or a mentor, a peer, even a therapist. And even if those people can't solve the problems for us, because they can't, that's up to us, only we can do that. They can still offer us new ideas. They can celebrate with us when we have success, and they can lift us up with encouragement when we fall or when we need it. It's really important to persevere in that and to chip away at those things and the walls that we have built to protect the places inside of us that have been hurt. We have to do that in order to overcome the feelings of shame and anxiety, of isolation, of judgment, insecurity, and so on. Think of the quotes from Michelangelo. You might be familiar with these. He had several quotes in which he talked about sculpting and marble. So I wanted to share two of them with you today. The first is that it goes, "I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free." The other says, "The sculpture is already complete within the marble block before I start my work. It is already there. I just have to chisel away the superfluous material." So I think that's a pretty good metaphor for life and for us. We are the sculpture, the angel in Michelangelo's work, but we can't become what we are meant to be unless we remove the marble or the things that are holding us back. And remember that this is a continuous process. It's not something we will ever complete or find a full final resolution. We will make progress, fall backwards, slip up, make mistakes, rinse and repeat. Just give yourself grace and then keep on going. My second tip is to make time for creativity in your life. When you allow something time, it shows that you honor it. And when you bring something into your life through time, you can rediscover the things that make you come alive. You can reconnect with the people who think the same way as you, and you can reimagine all the possibilities that lay ahead. So you have to learn also to prioritize. So what are the things that are actually important to you? And there's a little bit of nuance here because yes, doing chores around your house are important. You have to have clean dishes to eat, to feed your body. You have to do laundry to be able to have clothes to wear out in the world. So those things are important, but don't necessarily place them above I guess don't place them above your goals in the context of, all your laundry is done and your house is perfect and tidy, and everything is organized in order, but you haven't allowed yourself to have any time for the things you're passionate about. That's a really good way to lose a part of yourself, I think. So prioritize, and also protect the time that you have available. Learn to say no to the things that don't serve your end goals, even if those things are really good. Whether that, that could be volunteering at a homeless shelter. That's a great thing. And I'm not at all saying that you shouldn't do that. But just be conscious of that kind of thing, because when you say yes to those things, you're saying no indirectly to time that you could be spending on your creativity or working toward your goals. So in the context of all that, it's really important to use a planner or an agenda book or a calendar, whatever works for you, but make sure to build that time into your daily routine or your schedule. Because if you don't include it, just like you would a doctor's appointment or going to work, or I have to pick up my child at this time from this location, if you don't put it on there, it's a lot less likely to happen. Number 3, treat your creativity and the places in which you practice it with respect. So this includes an actual physical location. And it doesn't matter if you have your own studio space or if you have a desk in the corner of a shared room, or if you're working just on your kitchen countertop. Treat that space with respect. Keep it neat and tidy. Make it nice so you look forward to spending time there. And the same goes with any digital presence you have. That could be social media, it could be a website, it could be other websites, or even physical publications, maybe anywhere that you are represented or published. That is a direct representation of you. So make sure that you give yourself, like I already said, give yourself the gift of time and space, and respect your process. Respect the space that you have and that you're given, and respect your gifts most of all, and let yourself share them with the world, and in whatever way you are able. Whether that's in your local community, it could be, like I said, online, through social media, a digital presence, if you get featured in a publication, or you're interviewed, if you are doing an art show, or showing your work in a gallery, it doesn't matter. But however you put yourself out there, show yourself respect. Number 4, it's important to communicate and be clear with yourself and with others about the things you need in order to do successful work. Be honest and straightforward and direct about your boundaries, your intentions, your expectations, and your goals. Don't assume that people are automatically going to know what you're prioritizing or what you need from them. I am guilty of this. In lots of ways. It's super easy to just kind of get in your routine. It's like you've got blinders on, you're working toward a goal or something specific, but if you don't tell other people those things, you can't expect them to know that and to be able to help you. For example, say if I wanted to dedicate a Saturday afternoon, a couple hours, to working on a project, or finishing a painting, or social media batching, whatever it is. If I don't communicate that with my husband and my family, I really can't get upset with them for not knowing what I'm doing. And so it's really important to just to communicate those kinds of things with the people that are around you. It's also important to provide and offer yourself encouragement. Have a good attitude, and it's really a good plan to practice positive self-talk. Be flexible and patient with yourself, and just know that not everything is ever going to go according to plan, no matter how much you try and prepare. Come up with a list of affirmations that you can look back upon when you're struggling. Shameless plug here, I actually have a blog post about that, with affirmations that relate to creativity that you can print off, and it's a really good way to reinforce those good thoughts, especially when you are having trouble believing it yourself in your heart. You can also think back on difficult situations that you've dealt with in the past, and reflect on how you handled them. You made it through those things, and I'm pretty sure you can do it again with whatever you're facing. Finally, with that point, it's okay to have difficult days. We all struggle sometimes, but give yourself permission to recognize that, and then intentionally change your mindset, step out of the struggle, and figure out how you can move forward. Number 5, I think, celebrate your differences. these are the things that set you apart from what other artists and creatives are doing. We all do different things. We all have a different voice, a different message, a different style. We all, if we all did the same thing, that would be really boring. So the fact that we all have a different approach and perspective is actually a really beautiful thing. It's not something to be ashamed of. Don't play the comparison game. I know it's really easy, especially when you get involved in social media and you're seeing all the cool things that other people are doing or creating. But just because you do things differently, if you have your own way of doing things, that doesn't mean your way is any less valid. Your voice is really important, and as I alluded to earlier, it's part of what makes the world such a beautiful, enriching place. Finally, hold firm to the commitments that you have made to yourself. This could be viewed in lots of different ways, but a couple examples are scheduling your time, working toward goals, rewarding yourself for accomplishments, that kind of thing. Just doing what you set out to do, basically. So you can come up with systems or processes that make it easy for you to stay on track, but make sure you don't overcommit yourself. I certainly have experienced that when I got in over my head. I overextended myself by not being fully aware or educated about what I was getting into or what a new opportunity involved. Once you say yes, it's a lot harder to backtrack and kind of extract yourself from that situation. So just be aware of that. Make sure you have all the facts and information before you commit to something else. And that being said, sometimes things do occur that are out of your control. So just make sure to, in those situations, extend yourself a little bit of extra grace. You can probably find a way to accommodate what you're trying to work with and find another way to make it work. The bottom line in all this is that your creativity is a huge part of who you are. And when you honor it, you're giving it your best. You're exhibiting forethought, integrity, and respect. You're telling yourself in the world, this is important to me. And by doing that, you can inspire others to do the same. Thanks for being here with me tonight, guys. Make sure you're following me here on Instagram to get notified about future episodes, or you can go to my website and subscribe to my newsletter, and you'll get a monthly message of stuff behind the scenes. You'll get notified about new art that I have coming out, the things that are inspiring me, and stuff that you don't see anywhere else. The link is in my Instagram bio, or you can go to emilygileski.com. That's Emily, just Emily, Emily. Gileski is Geleske. So emilygileski.com. And if you are new to these art chats, they're every week, every Tuesday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. So I'd love to have you next week for the next episode. And I will see you then. Have a great week. Bye.